Well, no one, not even Jay Johnson, the Secretary of Homeland Security, denies the organizers of the Muhammad art exhibit and cartoon contest had the right to exercise their right to free speech. But critics also say it's important to understand this event was about more than free speech. Rabbi Rick Jacobs says in the New York Daily News, quote, the event was really about hate mongering and about condemning all Muslims. He writes, during the Holocaust, the Nazis went beyond making us social outcasts. They systematically slaughtered our people with unspeakable cruelty. Because we know so well what it's like to be the outcast, we must never, through our deeds or words, make others into modern-day leopards. The rabbi represents 1.5 million Reformed Jews in nearly 900 synagogues across the United States and Canada. And the rabbi joins me now. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for being here. So the organizer, Pam Geller, she says she's not condemning all Muslims. She's just condemning the extremists. And that's why she held this event, to prove that there were extremists in this country who are out to destroy our freedom of speech in America.
Well, let me say, first of all, the event that she organized was protected by, thankfully, for the free speech by the First Amendment. It was not an event, however, in support of free speech. She is free to speak her mind. It is offensive. It is hate-mongering. It pollutes our world, and it is exactly what we do not need more of.
But you still think they had the right to hold that event?
They had 100% right to hold the event, and we have the right, as a civilized faith community, to say it is just harmful, it is hurtful, it is hateful, and it is wrong, but it is protected and it is legal.
What do you suppose her real goal was?
I can't suppose what her real goal was, but I can see the impact of what she has done in cities, in New York City, by putting hate ads in the trains and the subways. She is basically painting all Muslims as extremists, and there are 1.6 Muslims in the world, and there are a fraction that are religious extremists. And when she paints an entire religious community, a quarter of the world's population, she does harm not just to Islam, but to religion and to everything we believe.
Now, in fairness to her, she says she's not doing that. She's not meaning to do that at all. She just wants to paint the extremists as they are.
Well, she can say whatever she wants. We know the impact of what she does. It is anti-Muslim, and it is fear-mongering, and it is hateful. And we as a religious community, we actually know how to build bridges of understanding. There are actually constructive ways to engage in the world, and particularly with the Muslim community. We just gave an award last week to a congregation just across the river in New Jersey. That's their teen program, bringing teens from the Jewish community and the Muslim community in the Reformed Synagogue together to learn from one another. We've got a synagogue in Omaha, Nebraska, that's building a tri-faith campus with a mosque, a Reformed synagogue, and a church. We know how to build bridges of understanding in this world. And we also know that, frankly, we're not naive. I'm a rabbi. I was a rabbi in New York right during the World Trade Center attacks. I spent time in Israel this past summer during the war with Hamas. I'm not naive about religious extremism, but we must be smart as we fight religious extremism and not lose our values.
Okay, I want to go back to what you said about the posters, because, of course, Pamela Geller wants to plaster New York City buses with these posters, and if we could put that up again, that would be awesome. A poster like this one, it says, in any war between the civilized man and the savage, support the civilized man, support Israel, defeat jihad. Now, the MTA, which is in charge of the buses, it doesn't want to put up some of these posters on the buses because it says they could provoke violence. Why do you object, though? Because you guys put up your own posters, and now what may happen?
Well, first of all, these posters are incendiary. They're protected. They're legally allowed, but they're simply wrong. And we see the impact. I stood in front of one of these posters with a very close friend of mine who's a Muslim, lives in my community, and he said, Rick, these posters are so denigrating to me, to my kids, and to everything I believe. How is it, first of all, to put these posters up which somehow equate anti-Muslim with pro-Israel? That's not what it means to be pro-Israel. We're not hateful to Muslims. We are trying to build a world of reason and compassion. So why don't we put something on a bus? Why don't we put a message like, not even in your heart do we hate? That's a message from our tradition. That would be a message to put out there, but not these hateful really, really denigrating messages.
Okay. And by the way, just so you all know, we did invite Pamela Geller to the set for her side of the story, but she canceled on us late last night. So, Rabbi, thank you for joining me. I appreciate it.
Thank you.